What's going on, everyone? My name is Alex. That's Eileen, and you're watching Straight to the Chicane podcast. And today we're going to be talking about Baku. We are back.
We're back.
And I also want to welcome back all of our subscribers and people that have seen us before. And if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, comment, join the conversation, okay? So let's just get started. What do you think this weekend?
Well, there was so much hype leading up to Baku from last year.
Yeah.
Last year, I think you rated Baku your favorite race of 2021.
I think it did. I was my favorite.
Or one of your favorites.
Yeah.
And so going into the weekend, there was just a lot of high expectations.
Yeah.
Things were heating up. Still a Red Bull Ferrari competition, but yeah, I'm like, it's another street circuit. We expected it to be a little crazy. Expected a lot of red flags. Didn't really get a whole lot of crazy carnage.
This was not your typical street, high-speed Baku from previous years. These guys, right from the start, there wasn't even that much in practice. Yeah. What they were saying is they were just kind of kissing the edge, and they actually had some techno barriers up in certain spots, which was allowing for some forgiveness. Mm-hmm. So that kind of helped for sure. Yeah. But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of carnage like before. I think it was just because almost everybody's been there before. Very, very well-known track.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know. But a little bit more boring for us. Yeah. And it was really early for us, the U.S. fans on the East Coast. I don't even want to know how people who live on the West Coast felt waking up extra early. Probably how we felt when we watched Australia. But, whew.
Yeah, they probably would up at like 4.
Yeah.
5, 4.
4 start time. Yeah. So it was an early one. But
yep.
Let's see. It was a Red Bull 1-2.
It was.
Is that back-to-back Red Bull 1-2s?
It was.
No, Max was third in Monaco.
Oh, yeah.
So Red Bull officially leads both championships.
Yeah.
Well, they already did, but now it's a Red Bull 1-2 in the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, so we haven't seen that.
Which is the first time in 10 years since Multi-21.
Multi-21, Seb.
So...
Yeah, so that was from when Seb and
Mark
Webber were teammates on Red Bull, and that was when those two guys were battling for the Drivers' Championship. Yeah.
So, do you think we're going to see some craziness? We're only on round 8. They're pretty close. It's only 19 points between the two of them. We already heard Max's dad express his opinion on how he felt that they should have prioritized Max and Monaco over Checo.
Yeah.
But I think Max and Checo they're really good friends off track too.
I think they're all fairly good friends off track,
Yeah.
You hear some of them, and see online them sharing planes to races and stuff. So.
But it is still early.
It is very early.
And if it is, going on the whole season, when it gets closer to the end, the competition and the rivalry may heat up. So.
Oh, I'm sure it will heat up near the end if things are close.
And I feel like the last few weekends we've seen Checo in a different form. Not that it wasn't there before, but since Spain, I feel like
I agree.
Which it's only been 2 races, but he looked good all weekend.
I think he's just pushing the limits. He's happy. He's content. He's got a contract extension.
Well, he did, yes.
So I think he's trying to be a world champion, and he's going to give Max a run for his money.
I do think that, yeah. It's going to be interesting. Max was in rare form today, though.
Oh yeah.
Not all weekend, but today, on another level.
Yeah, so let's just talk about the weekend. So leading into the weekend, a few things kind of noteworthy to talk about before we kind of start the weekend.
Yeah, so...
Yeah?
Besides Max's dad, Lewis became an honorary Brazilian citizen. So that was going on. That's been going on for the last couple of months. So I think he had applied or, there was a petition and a lot of people signing for it and all sorts of stuff. So it became official.
Yep.
So now he technically has 2 home races, Silverstone and Brazil. Is that how this works? So that happened. God, what else happened?
There was a lot of talk of Daniel.
There was a lot of talk.
Leading up to this weekend. So and him needing to do good and stuff like that. And,
well, and if he has a contract, if he doesn't have a contract, which he does through the end of next year.
Yeah.
But it does feel like the waters are a little muddied at McLaren for him.
Yeah. I mean, you got to see over in IndyCar with O'Ward doing really well.
Yeah.
And already be a McLaren driver, so there's competition everywhere.
Yeah. No, of course.
Yeah.
So what else? I'm trying to think what else happened. So going into the weekend, Red Bull took 2 new engines.
They did, which was surprising. I guess that's kind of why we saw Max today just kind of dominate. The top 4 were separated by what? Intervals of like 15 to 20 seconds apart from each other.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, for race finish, I think it was 20 seconds and then 24 and 25 between Max to Lewis.
Yeah, crazy.
So, yeah, they were fast.
They were.
They were very fast.
Yeah.
It was like Lewis in Brazil. When he put that new engine in, it was just like he was in a league of his own. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I think Seb looked pretty good this weekend. Did pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Did pretty good in qualifying, I think.
Seb really likes Baku.
He does.
He was on the podium last year.
Yep.
And I think he's never finished lower than 6th, in his career. Now, we've only had, as of today, 6 races there.
Yeah. And there's been a different winner every year.
There has been. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. I went into this weekend predicting based on practice and qualifying that Perez was going to win.
Me too. And we were both wrong. We
got everything wrong. Literally everything.
And we had the identical list.
Now I will say that yesterday, it was a really big deal because Charles was on pole and he officially has had 6 poles this year. So there's only been 3 drivers that have taken pole position this year.
Yeah.
6 have gone to Charles.
Yeah.
1 has gone to Max and 1 has gone to Checo. And I just said, Max has won pretty much from all of Charles' pole positions. And as of today, he's officially won more than Charles has from his pole positions. But he does now have more than Max. So he has 15 as of this weekend.
Yeah.
But we all know how things have been turning out for him. So he's been on pole the last 4 races and has not won. So he now officially owns that record of having 4 consecutive pole positions with no win.
That's crazy.
So 2 DNFs in the last 2. So Spain and today, Baku. Then obviously Monaco, he was 4th. In Miami, he was 2nd. So he's had a stroke of bad luck. And it's opposite for Red Bull, who have won the last 5 races consecutively.
Yeah, I think they're starting to be dominant. Now, there's also been talk going into this weekend, too, of whether or not Red Bull and some other teams are going to be able to finish the last few races. Because they want everybody, some of the teams want to have an extension on the salary cap.
Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of talk of the salary cap.
Yeah.
A lot.
I mean, right now, this inflation, gas prices, everything is crazy worldwide. So
well, and the amount of travel they do, too.
Yeah, they didn't go from continent to continent. They're going all over. And that has a lot to do with the time and schedule of Monaco. And when you want to be in certain areas throughout the year that you're not
I feel like they could be a little bit more strategic. But
they totally could, and they totally need to. And that's maybe one reason why there hasn't been talk, unless you've heard something that I haven't, that Monaco still hasn't been renewed for.
It has not, but I highly doubt that it's not going to be on the calendar.
Agreed. It just might not be.
They should change it, though. I think that's the biggest discussion is it's so difficult to overtake. It's just basically all about Saturday. And if they just maybe did a little bit of something different so there's capabilities, it would be more exciting. I think it's just the hoopla of it being Monaco and that's pretty much it instead of the excitement of the race.
Yeah,
Because even we had rain this year, and we really didn't have anything crazy.
That's because they didn't really have a rain race. I mean, they came out after it was done raining.
They were on intermediates for half the race.
Yeah, but they didn't. If they would have been able to start the race on time.
I know, but they would have red flagged it anyways.
Okay, so that's because somebody would have went out hard. They may have red flagged it and fixed the barrier or whatever would have happened. Maybe there would have been no red flags. Maybe it would have just been one of the yellow flags, and maybe who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Speaking of flags, today I heard my first new flag, which is black and orange.
Yep.
Never heard it before.
Well, Yuki Tsunoda's DRS on his wing
broke in half.
Oh man, it did, and they were like, no more DRS, and they gave him the black and orange flag to come in and repair and fix your car, and they just threw a little bit of duct tape, gaffer's tape, whatever you want to call it.
This'll do.
Yeah, something super sticky. The FIA allowed it. They were able to keep racing.
I guess. I mean, it totally ruined his race. It's not like he was having a great race in the points, and then his wing broke. And so I feel like, because right after his wing broke, they taped it, he came back out. Max's engineer was like, no more DRS until the end.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of new wing variations, like Alpine's super tiny, skinny wing. Max has obviously been having a lot of issues with his wing.
With his DRS
with his
specifically.
DRS, yeah. So
and he didn't need to have that completely malfunction like his did and completely
can
ruin
you
the
imagine
race.
if his wing would have broken?
And they would have gave him that flag too?
And then he would have had to come in and his race would have been ruined. Because Checo would probably be in the lead. Because he won in Monaco, and remember I said if Max and Charles DNF and he wins or whatever, takes fastest lap, he would be leading the world championship.
Yeah.
Wow, in an alternate universe, pretty crazy. So
yeah. Anyways, let's bring it back to Baku.
Hey, we're in Baku.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So practice. Anything else?
I mean, really, practice was just. Everyone was porpoising again.
A lot of porpoising and people kissing the walls.
You really wanted to get that in there.
Kissing the walls.
You really wanted to get that in there.
Just kept saying that. They kept saying it.
It's the same thing with Monaco too. I think it was turn 15 this week.
Yeah,
where they were like,
that sounds about right.
Did he hit it? Did he hit it? Because there would be a little bit of dust. So I don't know. I could still see the Pirelli sign on the side. I could still see the red stripe. So, but yeah, there was a lot of just barely not
just
hitting the wall.
Nudging, just tapping.
Mm-hmm. Just a little tap.
Yep.
So I would say the announcers wanted to give Mercedes the hardest time because they were like, the team that's most disappointing in practice is Mercedes because they weren't looking that great. They were having a lot of issues again with porpoising. Pretty rough. Them and Ferrari again, but Ferrari was fast. And when they got into the low-speed corners, they were quick. So, but not really a whole lot in practice, I would say.
Yeah. It was
Mick had that issue on Friday. So he was having the porpoising issues and had the water leak.
I guess that was a big one. He did go out with a huge water leak, and it was a lot of water too. I remember seeing that.
Which I think that's so him looking back at the weekend, he said they lost all that time on Friday, so they really only had one session to get their car set up right, and they just never got it right because he qualified P20, which is that's the worst he's done all year. So he's ready to just look ahead. We're not looking back at Baku for Mick. So
yeah,
but really not much else.
All right, so let's just go into qualifying then.
Yeah,
because there was some disappointment.
With Stroll.
Yeah.
So
Williams, which I'm wearing today from the Miami race, they didn't do so great either. So yeah.
It was your standard bottom 5 that were out. Yeah. I would say Bottas was dangerously close to getting out. He just scraped by, but with the skin on his teeth out of Q1, which was very crazy.
Well, the red flag in Q1 was which was by Stroll because originally went straight into one of those techno barriers.
Yeah,
but
he literally kissed the wall.
But I guess that
kissed it.
well, that was like nose on, but there was no damage, and I guess they allowed him to continue.
Very strange.
And maybe there was damage, maybe there wasn't, but he went in right into the next lap and went for a timed run and made it.
I assumed he went into the pits, and then all of a sudden there's a yellow flag.
No.
And it's Stroll again, crashing.
No,
but it was much worse this time.
He did one of those like, oh, hold my beer, I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So
he caused the red flag.
That was our one and only red flag this weekend.
Yeah, which was kind of surprising. Typically there's lots of red flags. You kept telling me 5. You kept telling me that stat, which I didn't know, which seems right. 5 red flags every year.
No, it's 5 DNFs every year.
Oh, 5 DNFs, which we did have.
We did have 5 DNFs.
Okay, wow.
So we kept the streak going. No, it's I think last year we had 2, and then like 2 VSCs. It was a lot, but we had no red flags in the race, which is crazy. So just the one in qualifying, which did leave us with like 2 minutes left.
Yeah, 2 minutes 30 seconds, which was a weird amount of time. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the lap times were like 1:43.
Yeah, so
it's the third longest, right? Third longest track on the calendar.
Yeah, yes, that sounds correct. It's
so,
one of the longest. Whether it's the third longest, I think that's probably
true. I think
because the Jeddah's pretty damn long too.
Yeah, but Jeddah's fast.
Yeah,
this one isn't as fast.
But you're talking about kilometers or miles.
Yeah,
distance.
I'm talking about time too.
Ooh, okay.
So 2 minutes and 30 seconds. The Mercedes were first in the queue. And this is not when there was the whole infringement or whatever investigation that was Q2.
Yeah, and honestly, even McLaren was kind of like they didn't have a really good first run before the red flag, and they were kind of near the bottom of the barrel too.
They were like the last team to go out.
They
were
from
literally
the restart
the last.
from the red flag. They got kind of put back in the line in the queue for the pit lane, and
basically nobody improved their times. Like,
no.
I maybe like one person.
Lewis did.
No, he didn't.
No.
They all went slower. So, but all I know is that
they were all right in front of each other.
Well, yeah. So Alonso was holding up the Williams. He said Alex was not happy.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't able to get in a good clean lap, and. He thinks that it was all part of Alonso's strategy, that he's a smart guy.
Right, but then...
Because he was going slow, and then he strategically went off.
So he was going strategically slow, but he didn't get summoned to the
because
stewards.
He said that it was not... He wasn't strategically going slow.
Who, Lewis wasn't strategically going slow?
Alonso. I'm talking about the
I know,
Q1.
but I know, but then... Lewis gets summoned for going too slow during qualifying too.
So Q2, Lewis was going slow, but he
was within.
He was delta. Off the racing line, and he was sticking to his delta. What he says is, "I was waiting to get a tow from somebody, like just another car, and nobody wanted to go past him. So then he just went.
Okay.
Because he was in the steward's room for over an hour."
Trying to tell
during that investigation.
Yeah.
So obviously nothing happened, but it was on the radio. This was Norris was behind him, so his engineer, whatever. Even Bono came on the radio and was like, "Make sure you're sticking to your delta."
Yeah.
Which after investigation, apparently he was. So they just like to, like Lewis is 6th in the drivers' championship right now. So just leave him alone, okay?
They're just trying to give him as much heartache as they can.
Yeah, he has not had very good luck this year. He's had a lot of bad luck, and he's being pretty positive. I feel like, when I see him doing his interviews, when I see him in, just doing press, whatever, I feel like he's very positive. We're going to come through, we're, making progress. Even today, as messed up as he was and how beat up he was, he's like, okay, well, good progress. Let's keep it going. He said he's going to be in the sim tomorrow, getting ready. Unless he wakes up and his spine is a little too sore.
Yeah, we'll see. I heard somebody say he might not even be in
Well, I think that
Montreal, because Montreal is next coming up, yeah.
Yeah, I think that Toto is a little worried because he's not in good condition right now.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, comparing it to this or comparing it to so-and-so. I mean, he's 37. So, of course, like, and these they're athletes, okay? They're in the best shape. Mm-hmm. To see him not even really be able to get out of the car after the race today should be a little bit concerning.
Should be.
And I know it's like, oh, they could just sacrifice their performance. But should they have to? No.
Well, they need to fix the porpoising problem. They need to fix that.
And
I don't know. I think FIA should do something possibly about these cars if they're causing damage to these drivers at the expense. So yeah, I do think that's a kind of a problem too.
Well,
because
Magnussen has quote unquote has nerve damage from it.
Okay.
I mean, you heard Ricciardo today in his post race that he's like, I literally because McLaren hasn't been as challenged all year, and he had it pretty bad today, and he's like, I feel bad for the teams that have had it all year.
Yeah.
I would say Ferrari was able to fix it, but they were pretty bad at the beginning of the season too.
Yeah.
They just have they have a better performing car. Not a better reliability car, but a better performing car. They worked on their performance, but not their reliability.
Yeah, there's
even Matteo said that today.
There's something wrong with their reliability.
So porpoising it's a major issue. We're going to another street track, so hopefully they're able to fix it because it's a little crazy to see. I don't know how they're driving through it. Lewis said that what did he say? He had to bite and grind his teeth just to like get through, and just pretty much pure adrenaline was what kept him going.
Yeah, crazy.
So
pure adrenaline. So back to qualifying.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, because honestly, this weekend was just it wasn't that eventful. I personally didn't think the race was that great. I don't know what you guys think. I don't know what you think. What do you think? Was it good?
I mean, it wasn't as exciting as what we're used to. And so, for me, obviously there was a couple of VSCs. There was, a few strategy things. We did see some overtaking, nothing at the front. Mm-hmm. Like it was all midfield battling. Like
if that's what it is right now. I mean, with Ferrari going out the way that they did.
I don't even know if we would have seen anything with Ferrari though.
If they would have stayed in it.
Because it's hard to say. So what I will say is when I guess Leclerc, we'll stick to Leclerc because Carlos was out after 9 laps. So it's hard to really put him into it. But it prompted the pit stop. And I know we're not talking about qualifying, but it prompted them to start their pits with the VSC. And Leclerc went in first. Red Bull stayed out. So it's hard to say what the battle would actually look like. But based on how fast Max was today, I just don't think there would have been competition. I get it. Leclerc is fast.
He's fast. He's
but
he knows how to put that car on the edge.
He does, but he doesn't control it as well as Max.
No, Max has finesse.
Yeah. So
even though he rages.
He does, but he does it, and then he pulls it back in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he knows how to put it on the edge. Very, very few mistakes from Max. In the last few years at all, And the only where he put it on the edge and there was a mistake was Saudi last year in qualifying.
Yeah.
But Charles is unpredictable. And even for me, I was knowing what it's going to look like on that opening lap or with the 4 of them up front, what's the battle going to be like? Max is behind Charles, so there's definitely going to be some type of squabble, whatever. But I always bet against Charles, and I hate to say it, but I do.
Yeah, I always think something's going to happen. I didn't think there was going to be engine issues. I didn't think reliability was such a problem. I figured since they already had some issues previously that they kind of maybe fixed and figured it out, but apparently they haven't.
Yeah, no, apparently they haven't, and I would tell you what, it's even more heartbreaking for Charles because, Carlos is making mistakes.
Well, he didn't make a mistake today.
But not today. Yeah. But that's why he's behind in the championship. But Charles is He's getting pole. He's getting pole, and then he has in Monaco the strategy piece. He's getting pole, and then his engine fails. He's just a lot of stuff that's out of his control.
Yeah.
And so it's unfortunate. A lot of people are comparing this to when Seb was at Ferrari, and they bottled the issue as a team, and it wasn't really his fault. So it's kind of like deja vu again.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, that's my opinion. I just think that Max, he was on another level today. I mean, he literally beat Sergio by 20 seconds.
Yeah.
After Sergio outpaced him all weekend.
All weekend. Yeah, that was one notable thing during practice to say that Sergio was looking good all weekend.
Oh, my God. Yeah, he's, like, on another level.
Yeah.
His confidence is there. I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I'm
I mean, look, I'm a Sergio fan. Everywhere we go, I talk to a lot of Sergio fans. We met a lot of Sergio fans down in Miami.
How can you not like Sergio? Come on.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're already manifesting a Sergio win in Mexico. He deserves it.
He deserves
Everybody
it.
deserves to win their home race.
Sort of. I think they deserve it to be a battle for their home race. So that would be saying, since we're going to Montreal next, DJ Stroll and Latifi.
Stroll and Latifi battling for the win.
Yes.
That is if everybody else on the track
They
DNFs.
Well, it could be rain. I've heard there's talk of rain.
We did hear.
We'll see. I'll keep a track out. Here, we're in the Metro Detroit, so we're not far from Canada. However, we're a little farther away to Montreal than just Canada.
Yeah. I just don't want to ask for rain right now because I feel like every time I'm like, oh, I hope it rains.
We get too much.
Then we get too much.
Yeah.
So we just let's just not do any more rain dances, you guys. Like, let's take it easy because we don't want to have a delayed race or any issues, but we do want to have an exciting one. So we'll see. But really, I feel like with the rest with qualifying, not a whole lot of craziness. We did see both McLarens go out in Q2. They barely made it through. And this is where the controversy, and I know we're skipping around, but the controversy with Lewis holding up the queue was Norris and Daniel were just trying to get their laps in. And so I think they think it affected them a little bit, and that's why they weren't able to improve.
I mean, look, they had a really good race. They finished in the points.
Yeah.
Pretty much, what was it, 7 and 8, I think it was?
8 and 9.
8 and 9, thank you. So maybe.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think their race pace is usually better than their qualifying pace, pretty much.
Yeah. So they were on Q2, and then it was like your typical 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we had a little Red Bull, a little Ferrari, Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull.
Yep.
Carlos was on provisional pole, which was, I got excited there because I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna be his first one. But then it was Leclerc just coming through with purple.
Yeah.
Purple. But then Alonso, I think, did get sector 3 purple at the end of Q3. So
that car is fast in the straights, and honestly,
it was the fastest.
Through the
349
through the speed trap, right?
Yeah.
They were the fastest through the speed trap, and sector 3 is, I think, the whole entire. It's just a straightaway. I think it's like coming out of the turn and straight.
Nobody could pass Alpine on the straight. It was like next to near impossible. So
it was a rocket.
It was a rocket ship. There's a lot of memes about the Alpine this weekend. So Alonso loves to back up like the midfield. That's like his specialty. Like, he's like the king.
I think he likes to be able to control his aspect of the race. You know what I mean? And whether it's strategically good, maybe as a team it's good, but for qualifying,
Monaco wasn't.
Yeah, qualifying it's okay because you're trying to say, all right, I'm not going to let you guys get a better time. I'm just going to do exactly what I need to do, put myself in the right spot so that you guys aren't going to improve from what you did. Yeah, I mean, that's all strategy for sure. During the race, unless it's for team strategic strategy stuff, I don't know. It seems like slowing up the team, like blocking and all that stuff is, if you're doing it for the win or whatever, but, race and battle.
No, I know.
If you're in the midfield, race and battle, but if you're just trying to slow everybody up, I don't know. Look, what Sergio has done previous year, last year in particular, with how he slowed Lewis up so much that Max was able to come back like 8 seconds or whatever it was. It was crazy. That was a really good defensive move, but he did it for the team, and that was for the team defense.
Yeah, no, of course. I don't know if in Monaco, Alonso was trying to do it for the team. It didn't make any sense because Ocon was behind Lewis, and then he had a 5-second penalty. So it only created more issues, but neither here nor there. So, I mean, not a whole lot other than, Q3, it was the top 2 teams, and then everybody else was over a second behind. So we were like, oh man, this is not good. Like, what is this going to look like? So
yeah, typically I like to see qualifying
very close
time, especially with the top 10.
Yeah,
all within a second. And I like to be like, oh look, it's the top 15's all within a second. That's usually a rare form now.
Yeah,
we were just literally seeing it was the Red Bull and Ferraris were the top 4, and then everybody else was over a second behind. There was no comparison. It was like these two cars were like a different level.
Yeah, no, they were. So
yeah, the Honda powertrain and the Ferrari, I guess, in the beginning of the year.
The Red Bull powertrain.
Yeah, the Red Bull. Sorry, I don't know why I said Honda. Oh no.
It's okay.
Yeah. So that kind of how we got through qualifying was we saw those, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it kind of fell in behind. Now, Russell kept getting a tow from Lewis.
Yeah, Russell was in front, or he was behind this weekend.
Yeah.
So they spoke on it, actually, on how at the beginning of the season they flip a coin to decide who's going to go first.
Yeah.
But he's like, we didn't even have a coin. I think we flipped a bottle or something. So he got the tow from Lewis, so that definitely helped him. So he qualified P5. Lewis was P7 though. Gasly split the two, but
yeah, Gasly looked pretty good.
This was his best qualifying this season.
Yeah.
And his best race finish, so.
Vettel got in there too. Vettel is looking really good in his...
Vettel's carrying Aston Martin on his back. So
he is. He's figured out how to get that since they came out with the rebuild or the remodel or the
Red Bull 2.0.
Yeah.
The green Red Bull.
He's driven pretty well in that car. However, during the race there, he made a move and then kind of didn't know if he made the move fully. And
he made a move, but it was like the epic move of the day.
It was great. I wish we would have.
So he made a mistake. But
I think he made it, and then he was really late to the braking zone and got late on the brakes and decided to go into the emergency lane, but then busted a 180 real quick, like a true pro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said he only lost 7 seconds. Yeah. Going into the runoff, whereas like we had saw and you said Lando did the 5-point turn.
It's pretty much the Austin Powers when he's in the hallway.
Yeah,
and he does 21 moves. That's what Lando did.
Yeah, or like having to reverse out. So he only lost 3 places.
Yeah,
which ended up making them essentially back. But in an alternate universe, would he have finished in front of Hamilton? We'll never know.
Yeah.
He did. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, so that kind of rounded up the top 10 for qualifying.
So let's talk about the race. I mean, let's just get to it.
Yeah.
We had 4 Ferrari engine retirements today.
We did 4 Ferrari engine retirements, and it happened throughout the day. It was not all at the same time or anything like that, or in the beginning, like you typically see when you go around turn 3. When people hit the wall, that's usually a big spot, or people go off in turn 1, like has happened before with the brake magic. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy. Nothing. No. It was super clean. Start of the race was really clean, other than it was really early.
And we saw Perez took the lead right away.
Yeah.
And was literally leading Charles by like 1.5 seconds after one lap.
One lap.
So I was like, oh man, wow. Perez is on another form. But lap 9, Carlos retires.
Yep, something happened going into the braking zone.
Hydraulic issue.
He thought it was a brake failure, but he was just when we saw the playback, it was definitely something pretty big, and he just pulled it off, and they said shut it down.
Yeah.
Turn it off. Yep.
Then it was Charles.
Yeah.
And
well, yeah.
He blew his engine. So did he blow his engine because he qualified so well yesterday?
When you see smoke like that, it's oil leak somewhere.
So
it could be a blown engine, could be a gasket gone. It's probably more than likely.
Double Ferrari DNF. Wild. So that happened, and then what? Who did we see next? Was it Joe?
Yeah, he had some issues.
Yeah, I think it was him, and he was like having a great race. Now, Bottas
in the points.
Yeah, Bottas was not doing well this whole weekend. There was definitely
he got beat by his teammate qualifying for the first time.
Yeah, and he did say, because I listened to all their like after the race radio, and he's like, something's wrong with this car setup. Like we need to figure it out. So he never had it right. I think he just didn't feel comfortable. So, but Joe was having a better race. I feel really bad. Because he was having a good race, and then something happened with his car. So that was the third retirement.
Yeah.
And then it was Magnussen.
Yeah.
Who was told, I think, everybody was battling Ocon today. Like everybody. Everybody had a battle with Ocon.
He was like the king of the midfield. So would you say he was driver of the day?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So yeah,
he was one of the drivers that was like not on that like first pit stop. So it was like him and Ricciardo and a couple other drivers that ended up pitting on the second VSC, which was from Magnussen. Yeah. And so I feel like he was just like kind of getting overtaken because his tires were shot. But a lot of people were battling with him, but because they had the straight line speed, they were able to like kind of fend for a few laps, but it was one lap that his engineer, Magnussen's engineer, was like, it's critical you get by Ocon. And then the next lap, his engine failed.
He needed to get some fresh air.
Yeah, so that was the fourth. That caused the second VSC, which was where it was decide, do you pit again or do you not pit? In the top four, the 2 Red Bulls, 2 Mercedes ended up pitting. Gasly did not, and I feel like that was Gasly's mistake.
Yeah, a lot of teams went early when Carlos's VSC came out.
Pretty much everybody.
And that was not lap 9, lap 10, right in that time frame. And everybody pitted for hards. And
the hards were the tire, because the people who went on the mediums, Ricciardo, and I can't remember who the other ones were, they struggled with their tires. And maybe because it was so hot.
Definitely. And that was probably, they should have all went to hard. Yeah, you're right.
But I know that some teams only had the one set of hards. So that's why they couldn't go to a second set. So I think McLaren was a team that only had the one set. So that was the issue. But Vettel didn't do a second pit. Neither did Gasly. Yeah. Vettel went 42 laps on the hards.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah, so crazy.
Yeah.
But
it was done. It was doable.
It was doable, yeah.
And the finishing points. So yeah.
Yeah. But was it better? So like Lewis did pit and he finished 4th.
Yeah.
So Lewis was fast there at the end.
He was probably just my opinion. When I do a lot of driving, and this is just from my opinion, my perspective in life. When I'm irritated or not feeling good or my back hurts, I just want to get the ride. I know you know what I mean, is you just want to get the ride over with. So I think he was just powering through as fast as, like, whatever the fastest possibly thing is I could do to get this over with.
He was like praying for the race to be over.
Because we saw at the end of the race that he struggled to even just get out of the car.
Yeah, no, I know.
You know, and you know, you don't typically see that from these top athletes.
He literally said it was like the worst. It was the hardest race, like the roughest race.
I mean, yesterday during qualifying at the end when they were doing a lot of the interviews, all the racers, all the drivers looked very sweaty, very tired, very beat from a long practice and then qualifying. And so Porpoising was beating them up. The heat was beating them up. The street track, because this is a hard course. You have to be trusting your brakes. There's a lot of 90-degree turns, you know, so.
Yeah, crazy. So, yeah, it was a Red Bull 1-2. It was a Mercedes 3-4. Then it was Gasly, P5. So his best finish of the year. He is over the moon, thrilled, happy. Then it was Vettel, Alonso,
Yeah.
then the McLarens, and then Ocon was P10. So that's our top 10 finish. So the McLaren drama at the end there, team orders or whatever, from beginning where Ricciardo had to stay behind, so Norris overcut Alonso.
Yeah, early in the race, Ricciardo was faster than Norris, and there was some team orders kind of done, and they followed suit. And then near the end, it seemed like Norris thought he was a bit faster and wanted to overtake for the better points, I guess. He has more points right now in the drivers' championship anyway. So I mean, I can see why he wanted to do it. However,
but when it's like team, like it's for the team at that point.
It doesn't matter. Because it's team points, constructor points.
Needless to say, he had some things to say on the radio and a couple things to say in his post-race interview. But it was good to see Ricciardo being competitive again.
Yeah, he did well.
A lot better weekend. I think he's going to go into Canada feeling a lot more optimistic. So that's good.
I think he needed this weekend. I think he needed to have a little bit better weekend, but I think he did good for sure.
Yeah. Well, everybody did better because of Ferrari. So that's the thing we have to keep in mind is that Ferrari would have been up there, pushed everybody down.
Yeah.
So
Ferrari needs to figure out what's going on.
George said it best. You have to finish the race to get the points. So
yeah, and we'll see some of these teams even make it to the end of the season, which they need to finish the season to win the season too.
Yeah.
Because if you're out the last three, and if you don't have, I mean, look, Red Bull could completely run away with it and win the next however many more races, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 3, or 2, 3, or whatever their combination is what they do, because they could be so dominant, and they could say, all right, we don't even need to race the last three because no team could place 1 and 2 for the next 3 races, so that there is some mathematical.
Yeah, of course.
We'll see. We don't know how that's going to shape up, and I don't necessarily think it's going to happen. Right now it's crazy that Red Bull both drivers are 1 and 2 with a little bit of lead over Ferrari, over Leclerc.
A little bit. It's like 80 to 90 points.
Yeah.
It's a lot. They're starting to run away. And
Yeah.
who's catching up is Mercedes is only 38 points behind Ferrari.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So if Mercedes could just get their car together, they would be competitive. So we need the 3 teams to be competitive, and we need Red Bull to not run away with it, because after 2021, we've been so spoiled that I don't want to see it not be a tight battle at the top.
Yeah, I agree. It needs to be a tight battle.
I mean,
and I want to see Mercedes do good as well, and I want Ferrari to figure out what's going on, because it seems like Red Bull and their powertrain team have kind of figured out their issues.
Have they, or are they just hiding it? I don't know. I mean,
We'll
they're only on their second engine.
Right.
Well, no, there's no way they're only on their second engine.
No, I told you that they're not. They're on their third. I think they're mixing in their older ones or whatever they were able to fix.
Like the parts, like the NG and K or whatever.
So I think a lot of teams are going to start having some penalties here soon.
Yeah. Well, Alonso's already had one.
Yeah. So we're not far away from that happening now.
Now we're only 1/3 through the season.
Now there was I'm trying to remember what happened in the race too. There was someone didn't line up right. Was it Stroll that had the 10-second penalty?
It was Latifi.
Latifi had the 10-second penalty, and then also had a 5.
He had a 5-second penalty for not ignoring blue flags.
So he was just straight up ignoring it. So that's going to be like points on his license, and then the other one's going to be points on his license too. So I think
And that's not even his fault that somebody from the team decided to stay on the grid too long. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know if he might not get points for that. But he'll get points for sure for the blue flag.
And in his post-race, he said that. He was like, what was the 10-second penalty for at the beginning? And they were like, we'll talk about it when you come back.
Because his team is one of his guys pushed his car back into a better spot after the wheels were on, and there was in the 10-second warning or whatever it was.
Yes.
Shoot, that shit sucks.
Yeah. So I mean, what's your prediction? You think that Ferrari is going to be able to keep it together? Is Mercedes going to be competing with Red Bull again?
If you look at the internet and you follow the memes making fun of Ferrari in these last few races over these last few weeks, I think they are starting to struggle here a little bit. They need to really figure it out. But the problem is is that next week is a race, so it's back-to-back races.
And they're not going to have enough time to get their engine
No,
back.
because now they got to fly all the way across the water, the ocean to another continent, over to the North America, to Canada, to Montreal, which was where the next race is. And man, I don't think they're going to have it quite figured out. So they're probably going to take a new engine.
Yeah, I'm sure they're
For
going
some
to
of
have
them.
to.
But the thing is luckily, whatever happened, I don't know if it's the same thing for all the Ferrari engines that the things happened today. However, there might be a case where there's a major malfunction and they need to have a certain update, and they're going to be allowed to do some things without having to use their tokens or whatever. But they don't have enough time. There's still not enough time unless there was these pre-planned updates, you know what I mean, that they were able to bolt on right when they get there. But I don't know. I mean, they're packing up and they're flying out to Montreal, you know what I mean? So
I don't know. I think it's looking like every couple races there's some major issues with them. I feel like,
which we thought was the case with Red Bull too, but we haven't seen any real major cases.
We haven't.
In a few races.
We haven't.
No.
So.
Yeah. So, who was your driver of the day then? Because Formula One gave it to
the fans
Lewis,
gave it to Lewis,
which was great. Well, we haven't seen that very often.
He was. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
He was driver of the day in Spain.
Oh. No.
Yeah.
All right. We just lost video, so this is where we're going to just end it here. And we'll see you guys.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, well, Lewis is my driver of the day. I agree with the fans. I actually didn't vote this week, but... Okay. Well, don't forget to subscribe if you've made it this far.
Yeah, sorry. Technical issue, and I don't know if I can figure it out quite fast enough. So
we'll see you in Montreal.
Yeah, we'll see you again next week in Montreal. All right?
You can have